Welcome to The Homemade Mother. My name is Jasmine, and this is my channel. Welcome back, everybody. Happy New Year. It's so hard to believe that it's 2022 already. The next few weeks, we are going to be doing a series that I'm calling Trial and Error. And basically what it is I'm going to be taking a bunch of different gluten-free packaged mixes that you can buy. Basically, I'm going to try these all out and give you guys a rating out of 10 whether or not I like them. For our very first video, I thought it fitting to start off with something easy, but also something that's so good in the winter time, and that's a biscuit mix. Today we are trying this biscuit mix out. It's gluten-free. I've never tried it before. I have no idea if it's good, but we're gonna find out. For this recipe, it says that you need this mix, a cup of milk, 2 eggs, and half a cup of butter. Sounds pretty easy if you ask me, but guys, anything could happen. I've learned that the hard way. I guess let's go for it. So we're gonna open up this packet. Oh, you know what I forgot to grab? Scissors. Classic. It says to throw the mix into your mixer. Okay. Well, there's our mix. All right, next it says we need to add our butter. So let's toss that in there. It says mix it up until it gets crumbly. Okay, this does not look crumbly yet, so we're gonna mix it again. Just scraping down those edges. All right, try this again. It's looking crumbly. All right, next it says add in our eggs. Plop these guys in there. Now, as usual, I always do 1 egg at a time. And our next egg. All right, now the last thing we're gonna add in is our milk. The instructions don't say this, but I'm gonna add in a little bit of milk at a time, and I'm not just gonna dump it all in, because I wanna make sure that the batter actually mixes up properly. Okay, I haven't added all my milk. This mix told me to use my dough hook attachment, which I did, but guys, if you look at this, it does not look like it's really mixing it all together at all. So I'm gonna go and grab my batter hook and hope that that helps a little bit more. Well, it's looking a lot more like batter, which is good. It looks pretty sticky though. We'll have to be very aware of that. But I think we can move on to rolling this bad boy out and seeing how well it does once we make the actual shapes. So this recipe says that we should be able to take this dough with a little bit of gluten-free flour to dust. I have this little roll mat that I got for Christmas. So we're gonna use this bad boy to also help keep it from sticking to the table. And before I get my hands really, really sticky, I'm gonna take these bad boys off because I always get stuff in them. This stuff is really sticky. I feel like it's gonna be too sticky to actually like do anything. Like, look at this. But we're just following the recipe, so see how this goes. I mean, it does seem to stick together really well. Plus, that doesn't often happen with gluten-free baking. This is so sticky. Oh my gosh. I don't think my rolling pin is going to actually be able to roll this out. It's just gonna get really stuck. We have my nice new rolling pin. Let's roll this bad boy out. It rolls really nicely. I feel like it's gonna end up really fluffy, which is exactly what you want for biscuits. So far, so good, except for how sticky it is. But putting that flour on top definitely helped. The flour on top has made it so that the top isn't so sticky, so my rolling pin isn't actually sticking to it. But then what it says is to take a cookie cutter, a circular one, or if you don't have a cookie cutter, you could literally just use a glass. A warm glass cuts dough easier than a cold glass. So let's just cut these out. Oh yeah, okay. Promising, it's promising. I like it. Yeah, wow, oh my gosh. I think this is gonna be really fluffy. Guys, I was not expecting this. I honestly thought this was gonna be a flop. I've just had so many gluten-free things flop. Just expect it. Wow, okay, I've cut out 12 biscuits already, And I still have so much dough. I should have looked at the recipe. I didn't actually pay attention to how many servings this would be, but it's a lot more than I expected, which is great, like not complaining at all. More biscuits, the better, but like this is like way more than I thought it would be. Okay, we're gonna have to get another tray because I don't have any more space. Guys, there's another 12 and I still have more dough. What is happening? Maybe I'm rolling it out too thin, I don't know. Okay guys, so I got over 2.5 dozen biscuits from this mix, which is insane, like that's so many. I have no idea what they're gonna turn out to be. We haven't baked any yet. It says to bake them at 425 Fahrenheit, which seems really, really hot for biscuits, for 12 to 15 minutes. We're just gonna follow the recipe and try this out, see if it works. All right, guys. The biscuits are out of the oven and they actually smell pretty good. They rose, which was like, wow, how did we manage to do that? That's amazing. The fact that it came out of a box and it rose, I'm really impressed. So let's get these onto our cooling rack. Oh yeah, and they didn't stick to the cookie sheet, which I guess is a good thing. So I baked them at 425, didn't burn them, which I was really convinced it would because it's such a high temperature. But I actually think the 425 was necessary in order to get them to rise. This is what I'm thinking. And I only cooked them for 12 minutes, so there's that. Now, the taste test, because really, if it rises but it tastes horrible, who cares? It's kind of spongy, a little bit dough-like, promising. Okay, it's not terrible. Sorry. That's not an accurate representation. Doesn't really have much of a flavor, but what flavor it does have is okay. I've had lots of gluten-free things that have terrible textures and flavors. This doesn't. It does have a bit of a funny texture, but not something that I would not eat. Like sometimes they like it's like grimy texture. It's my least favorite. I guess the way that they made it stick together is making it a little bit spongy almost, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it wouldn't stop me from eating this biscuit, especially if it was dipped in soup. Oh yeah, I bet this would be good. It does have a very strong corn, like strong as in like the only flavor I can really taste is corn and a little bit of butter, which is fine. If I was to rate this out of 10, I would give it 2 stars for how easy it was, because it was super easy. Like I literally just mixed it all together, rolled it out, cut it, and put it on a pan and then baked it. That was really easy. I'd give it 2 stars also for the amount of ingredients that I had to add in order to make this recipe work. Because let's face it, it's January and the more things I have to throw in, the less likely I'm willing to do it because I am tired. And I just need to start fresh / take a break / and work so hard because I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. And I would give it 1 star for the ingredients that actually is in the mix itself. The reason for that is because the first ingredient is cornstarch. I'm not a huge fan of corn. You can't really digest it. 1 star also for the flavor, because the flavor is good, but at the same time it doesn't have a lot of flavor. I mean, it's a biscuit, but still. My mom's biscuits taste better than this. And then also I would give it 1 star for the texture. Okay, no, that's not true. I would give it 2 stars because out of all the gluten-free textures out there, this one is pretty good. It's a little bit strange because it's the kind of spongy texture that I was saying, but overall it's still pretty enjoyable and it's not falling apart, which actually is a really big thing. The fact that it's actually staying together is quite impressive. So 2 stars for texture. So basically I'm giving it 8 out of 10, which is a really good rating. If you're looking for a biscuit recipe, I would go with this one. It's pretty good. No complaints, really. And if you're wondering, this is Dune-Kirken. I think that's how you say it. Sorry if I butchered it. It's a Canadian brand, which for me is a big deal. I love supporting fellow Canadians and what they're doing. And I appreciate that there's somebody out there who's working on making gluten-free products, because let's face it, there's a lot of us out there now. And it's really nice to have something that I can enjoy that doesn't take as much effort sometimes as making it fully from scratch. I will link this down below if I can find it for anybody looking, but I found it at Superstore. So if you have a Superstore near you, you could totally get this, and I would say it's really good. Stay tuned for next week when we make pizza crust. I mean, I'll actually make a whole pizza, because you can't try pizza crust without the toppings. It just doesn't work. It's not the same. It's just not. Hopefully it turns out. Ta-ta for now.